Hey everyone, well I just wanted to do a letter too. I wanted to explore the differences between two women, two villains. The villain of the then and the villain of the now. And as Harry stepped out to place Camilla in this mould of the villain in the story, which we all knew she was the villain in the story. You can't live in the UK and not understand that name. And I suppose I find it quite ironic in how Meghan, his wife, has become the villain in this story, because I go back to my mom from then in how she felt this connection to this woman, to Diana, in this rage ensued towards Camilla, this hate which never go away, even for my mom today. There are some people that will remain stuck in that place of where I am today as I look on at the same devastation and segregation, but in a different manner, in a different way in which they took up that villain name. And I suppose I just wanted to write a letter to that and explore my feelings and thoughts in how, yeah, just do my letter too. The villain of the story. A villain in his story. A villain, he stepped out to sell out. For this was old news, we all thought to ourselves. And aren't you a bit old for this fictional script? Children of your own, life moves on and you seem stuck in a place where a vendetta will not make you feel any better. Revenge will only take away. However, I can't speak to this without acknowledging the reality of growing up in a home in Great Britain. And the story that broke the headlines day after day. A love story I now see, which was shrouded with great tragedy. Camilla was branded with hate with no escape, for she would always be the one who stepped into her place. Heartache and pain, yet she never asked him to step or walk away. She remained by his side, his soulmate and guide. She accepted her role in being the hated one, for the love of her man was enough to withstand everyone. She stepped out by his side or stood right behind, knowing exactly what the people thought of her and how she would never shine. But she focused on charities and the backlight, understanding there would be no applause for any occasion. She would be right by his side as she stepped out to face the hate time and time again. She did not waver. She accepted her fate, which slowly over time made public perception a little bit greater. And still to this very day, many will not see her in any other way. They will not accept the pain she caused, and him, my own mom being one of them. For my mom was there and she felt it. She felt that connection to the monarchy, to that face, to that one who cradled a baby with AIDS, who brought a new and a fresh and changed this archaic institution into a place of soft touch. A bit like myself today, I feel this connection for this family, the same heartache I feel as my mom in the days before me. I see William and Catherine and the Charles of today. I see Camilla's grandchildren having a role on Coronation Day. I see this blended family who don't sell the perfect reflection. They have ups and downs like many, but this one right now that I see them face is second to the other we shall not name. An echo chamber of dysfunctional stands before us, mirror imaging the pain that's felt behind the four walls of sometimes our very own little kingdoms. The royal family, and how that word is right there in the name. We are not so different, and at times behind the gilded decoration, they are just the same. Human interactions, brothers and sisters, mothers and sons. Grief, loss and pain. The old and the young, a legacy to pass on. But then stepped up the villain of the now, who helped him step out and sell out, who stood by his side, but only when the picture and setting was right. As the same devastating event started to roll out, as the people watched on and felt every blow, the separation and divide of the two boys who were the apple of the one my mom looked up to. With a smile on her face, she set out a place, but not behind. She was stepping out in front, like this was all of a sudden her kingdom. The one with the ultimate wisdom. The one who was happy to speak on humanity and strong femininity. The one who was happy to stand over all the explosions, who rocked on sofas as Therapy and Harry became pay-per-view, as they invited the world to take a pew. A bit like the celebrities replacing her family on her wedding day. For respect for women was a paramount. That is unless you are the queen and you create a mock curtsy whilst wearing those titles to impress. Or Catherine, as the jealousy seemed to consume, for the love of her man was obviously not enough. For applause and praise she wanted over everyone. She seemed to garner a cloak, a Technicolor Dreamcoat equipped with words that would hurt, that would rock and cause outrage and shock. And not once for a minute did we watch her take stock. As the backtrack began, but of course the backtrack he's been solo on. Her not by his side, a wife and guide. As the dollars rolled in, this spoke true on them, unlike the untrue they spoke on them. And we all took a look back and found a new appreciation in Camilla for the actions she did not pursue and she did not do, in how an uncle and son speaking on them which seemed so out of place, yet becoming a normal visual to face. And we can't deny he was that face, and she can't harbour all of that blame. I wonder if Harry ever thought that his wife will become the villain in his nieces and nephews' story. For they are the ones who would have watched this big change in their family and that pain, feeling it too as Uncle Harry went away. They will one day watch their mom being attacked on the main stage, even when facing and fighting with all her might to survive the pain and fear of chemotherapy. All for them, yet they all question because of them. For they will figure out who was the one who brought this great change. For change this will make in the days before us, in how George will feel the pressure to not replicate the same mess. For who can he trust? How can he find a safe love? So I shall wrap it all here. Two villains they become, one of the old and one of the now, two women in a family, which unsettled and caused a great wave across a kingdom, anger and frustration. But as I see Harry coming here to face it alone, a hotel room and no longer a home. And I know in my heart that Camilla would have been by Charles's side, his love and guide, no matter what was spoken. For their love would never be broken. A consistency she brought, an endless commitment to her husband and country, authenticity, even when the crowds looked on in hostility. In that simple action and continuity as her earned her more applause. But when Harry is stood there with no wife by his side, for an applause is not guaranteed, it speaks over her and what she speaks. It will, however, speak to how she has become the new villain in this story. And the sad thing is, he is yet to understand and know it. I speak to this as a non-journalist and non-expert. In fact, just a person and a people who has taken my mom's legacy and a love for a family, a negative feeling for a villain, and for whatever reason, I understand we have something in common. And obviously, this is just my emotional thinking, my reflections, my opinion. It's subjective, so please do your own research. It's just a connection to the reality of the situation. Love it or hate it. Love them or hate them. The now and the then.